I think I was almost recruited into a cult, and I didn't even realize it until it was too late. Alright, so I've been holding on to this story for about a year because honestly, it messed with me more than I like to admit. I also never thought I'd be one of those people with a wild cult story, but looking back, yeah, I think I narrowly escaped something way more serious than I first realized. Let me rewind a bit. I, 29 Mem, used to live in a mid-sized town in Oregon. I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship and moved into a new apartment complex alone. Fresh start kind of thing. My job's fully remote. I do freelance marketing work, mostly email copy and campaign setups for real estate firms, so I didn't really know anyone in the area except my landlord, who lived on the first floor of the complex. The apartment was all right. Old building, thin walls, but cheap. I was the only tenant on the top floor, which sounds nice but ended up being creepy as hell at night. You'd hear the weirdest sounds, like someone walking slowly upstairs, which made zero sense, or humming. I brushed it off. Old buildings. Creak, right? Anyway, about 2 months in, I started seeing this guy around a lot. Early 40s, always dressed in a collared shirt and khakis, calm face, quiet energy, the kind of guy who nods at you but doesn't say much. One day I was coming back from a grocery run and he held the front door open for me. He goes, "You just move in upstairs?" "Yeah," I said. "Couple months ago." "I thought so." "You're the guy with the red desk by the window?" That struck me as odd because, yeah, I do have a red desk, but it's against the wall and not visible unless you're looking from a very specific angle, like across the courtyard at night with binoculars. Still, I laughed it off and said, "Yup, that's me." He nods. "Cool, I'm Neil. We do community dinners on Thursdays downstairs, by the way. You should come by." Now, I'm not the most social guy, but I was still new in town, so I figured what the hell. Free food, maybe meet a few people. The next Thursday, I went, and here's where things started feeling off. The dinner was in the common room of the building, which had been totally transformed. Candles everywhere, the lights dimmed low, incense burning. There were about 10 other people there, all dressed oddly similar. Plain colors, minimal patterns, no logos. Everyone greeted each other with these weird, quiet hugs. Not like warm family hugs, more like the hugs you see in rehab documentaries. Controlled, measured. Neil introduced me to the group and said, "Everyone, this is Jonah. He's upstairs." The way they all nodded in unison gave me goosebumps. Dinner was vegan stew and flatbread. Not bad, honestly. Conversation was strange. People talked about cleansing routines and visual alignment and something called threshold days. I had no clue what any of that meant. I tried to change the subject to more normal stuff like jobs or TV shows, but every topic seemed to loop back around to vague spiritual concepts. At one point, a woman named Alara, early 30s, super intense, eye contact, asked me if I felt drawn to the rooftop at night. I blinked. Not really? She smiled like she knew something I didn't. "You will." I didn't stay long after that. I decided not to go back, but over the next few days, things started escalating. Little notes were left under my door. "You are not alone. All thresholds open with patience. We wait for you at the rooftop." I never saw who left them. One night, I made the mistake of looking out the window around 2 a.m. Across the courtyard on the roof of the opposite building, I saw 4 figures standing in a square. Just standing, not moving. All facing inward toward each other. For almost 20 minutes. I took a video. My phone glitched halfway through and shut off. Eventually, I confronted Neil in the stairwell. "Hey man, about those notes. Someone's been leaving stuff under my door, that you?" He looked me dead in the eye and said, "We all do it, Jonah. The house calls when it's time." I froze. "The house?" He nodded slowly. "You're in the outer ring, but you're close." I noped the hell out of that conversation and started making plans to move. Then, one night, maybe a week later, I woke up and my door was wide open. Not unlocked. Open. I always deadbolt my door. I live alone. I'm paranoid. There's no way I left it open. On the floor inside was a single white envelope. Inside was a small brass key and a note that said, "Use this when you're ready. The rooftop. Midnight. No phones." I didn't sleep that night. I shoved a chair under the doorknob and kept a kitchen knife under my pillow. The next day, I packed everything I could fit into my car and got the hell out. I broke the lease and lost my deposit. I didn't care. A few months later, out of curiosity, or maybe stupidity, I Googled the apartment complex name plus cult, and yeah, nothing official. But I found a random Tumblr blog from 2016 written by a guy who used to live in the same building. He described communal rituals, mandatory, rooftop fasts, and threshold initiations. His last post just said, "I think I'm ready. I'm taking the key tonight." That blog hasn't been updated since. Edit. Holy crap, this blew up. I didn't expect so many people to resonate with this. I'm okay now. I live in a different state, different job. Still keep my doors deadbolted at all times. To the folks asking about the video, it was corrupted, unfortunately. Looked like static with audio popping in and out. Couldn't recover it. Wish I could prove it, but this one's gonna have to stay anecdotal. And no, I never used the key. I threw it in a river on the drive out. Still think about it sometimes, though.